What's up guys, it's Rachel and today I'm joining with
Danny Kim from DKDKTV. What is up, guys?
If you guys watched our last video where we talk about dating in Korea, you guys know we are two different people. Okay, number one, Danny.
She has to live alone by herself.
Oh my god.
A lot of people in the comments call me really cheap. They thought I was a cheap bastard.
And a lot of guys rooted for me, so thank you. But if we have one thing in common, that'd be we both like K-pop.
Okay, then let's talk about K-pop. What do you think about non-Korean K-pop fans?
You guys create the whole culture and
It's
truly
I can't imagine what barriers of entry would be to getting into this level of dedication to K-pop.
What is your impression of non-Korean K-pop fans?
They hate management companies in Korea. YG, SM, JYP.
It's because usually these people are centered around the idol, the artist themselves, not the company.
The whole idol system, how they got casted and how they become trainee and
So I think when they feel that their idol is being mistreated, a lot of times they will just attack the company.
What are some of the differences between Korean and international K-pop fans?
us being able to comprehend the meaning behind their lyrics. There are subtle meanings that you can only understand when you know the culture. That's why
true.
you make your videos, right?
I was gonna say that, but you already mentioned that.
DKDKTV, check
So
it out.
it used to be in K-pop, if you're not Korean, you can't really understand these lyrics. We made a K-pop explained by Korean series where we not only translate the lyrics for you, but we also tell you the social and cultural context.
Yeah, check it out.
Now there's no gap. Another thing that I noticed in the international K-pop community is when idols date,
Right.
they don't care.
But in Korea, it's
You
like
can't
taking
date.
an oath as an idol.
I mean, you know, it's part of the job. They knew going in that this would happen to them. That's what being an idol is. You have given part of your privacy and your life.
But dating someone, it's something that Korean fans could chill out a little more. I feel like it's too harsh.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand Korean fans' minds. To be honest, I don't care.
Me
Like-
neither.
like,
Like,
what-
date whoever you
I
want.
mean, they're not gonna be my girlfriend anyway.
Exactly.
So what does that matter?
As Koreans, we act like they murdered someone. How could
Yeah,
they do this?
yeah. Like they're done.
The
Like
level of sense of betrayal is huge.
this industry, it's not only selling music, it's selling a fantasy. They're selling this perfect boyfriend fantasy. You know, in Disneyland, the mascots, they can never take their mascot head off in the public eye.
The illusion is shattered.
Yeah, even if they're sick, they can't do that. And I think this K-pop is kind of like Disneyland for a lot of people. They're in a fantasy. So another thing is like a lot of international fans, they want to ship their idols into these fictional relationships.
Different groups.
Yeah.
That never happens in Korea though.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
pretty
tabooed.
Sure. They don't want to imagine that. And I think that's like an extension of how Koreans kind of view this fantasized version of their idols. It's a different Disneyland, I think. I don't want to say like they're not in the fantasy market, even in the international crowd. They're still selling a fantasy, I think, but it's just a different fantasy.
I get it. The way we enjoy K-pop is
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, exactly,
K-pop,
exactly.
yeah. Who's your favorite K-pop idol?
Red Velvet.
Irene.
Yeah, I love Irene out of Red Velvet.
Do you think you will be heartbroken if Irene announces she's getting married to someone?
I think I'll go to SM and with eggs.
Protest? Oh!
Do you know that?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'll send it to you later. Okay.
What happened?
Insert the clip. Okay, it's really funny.
Okay.
우리는 그곳에서 하영의 방출에 불만을 가진 팬들을 만나볼 수 있었는데요.
They really like K-pop, but they really hate a lot of the aspects of Korean culture. They always say like, you know, oh, Korean netizens are blah blah blah. They're so sensitive. They're like just a bunch of haters and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's kind of like contradictory. Like there's a lot of love towards K-pop, but there's a lot of hate towards Korea, the country itself and its people. But I just wish they would perhaps think about why these people are reacting this way instead of just making a quick judgment on the surface level reaction that these people give.
I guess like Danny said, try to understand more because it might be about something bigger than you think. They sometimes make mistakes.
Especially the history stuff.
Yeah, history stuff.
Like when they talk about historical facts and it gets wrong.
Koreans have very sad history. We had to sacrifice a lot to achieve our independence, freedom. Personally, I feel like they should know better. They should have known better. I understand the criticism. You gotta respect the culture and history, but international fans don't get the criticism. I guess it's because it's not their history. Still, we love you. Don't listen to them. Stay strong. Of course, I sometimes think the criticism is too harsh. Everybody should be more accepting and forgiving because we are not perfect either.
Yeah,
we don't know everything.
Again, it's from the fantasy thing. Like we expect our idols to be perfect. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Right? So Koreans expect them to not make any mistakes.
Way more generous, accepting misbehavior in terms of doing things outside of social norms, such as DUI.
Really? DUI? I think the better example might be the top with weed.
Right, doing drugs.
Yeah.
Personally,
You like weed?
No, I've never tried weed.
What a sad.
There are young kids watching this video.
Okay.
You don't need any sort of drugs to enjoy your life.
I know.
And also,
Just getting in the hands. Yeah, what? Go on.
even though I haven't tried weed or any sort of drugs, but I know plenty of my friends already like consumed or tried pot, marijuana out of curiosity, or they might actually like it.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, enjoy it. I guess compared to my other Korean friends, I'm more accepting to weed.
I don't really care about people doing weed. I grew up in Canada, Vancouver. They're super weed friendly.
Really?
I've also been staying a lot in America. So like for me, weed is not like a hard drug. And I know the effect of weed, not personally, from watching other people like Rachel.
Oh, what? Well, I heard it's less dangerous than actually alcohol.
Yeah, it is.
They get criticized so heavily and it almost terminates their whole career.
The Korean perception of weed itself is extremely different to that of Americans and Canadians and people who lived overseas who are exposed to the weed culture. When Top did weed, a lot of the reactions were like, so what? Like, he just did weed.
Yeah, I guess it's about the whole perception of K-pop. Koreans view the whole K-pop as their fantasy, but outside of Korea, it's just an entertainment. Koreans view this very heavily because idols have huge influence on kids. Parents would think, oh, my kids would imitate what they are doing as a public figure. They should never do such things.
And also, Korea has a very zero tolerance policy for any type of drug, which is kind of ironic because Koreans have a lot of alcoholics. The alcoholism problem in Korea is like very, very serious, but they don't think of alcohol as a drug. Whereas in, say, America, all these Hollywood celebrities, they have a very long history of enjoying recreational drugs. So it's like a completely different atmosphere. However, I think when in Rome, do as the Romans do. If you're gonna do business in Korea, then you just have to follow these rules. It's just the way it is. I hope that the international fans are maybe a little bit more understanding of the Korean culture. I personally disagree with a lot of parts of Korean culture too, but I think it's tough to say, like, as an outsider who doesn't know about Korean culture, to just come in and say, okay, that's wrong. Just accept that there's differences in culture. You can't expect your views to be in line with everybody else's.
In Korea, there is this preconceived notion toward K-pop that only young kids, young generation like K-pop. And if I say I like K-pop, at least two people out there who say, oh, you're not mature enough, when are you gonna grow up? Like, tease me.
Well, as somebody who does a YouTube channel that revolves around the international K-pop community, I would say, like, I'm very surprised at how some of these K-pop fans, they're a lot older than I am, even. It's kind of crazy, the amount of diversity that these international K-pop communities hold compared to Korea's.
Do they get judged? Do they get looked down?
I don't think so. Like, not as much as Korea, I think.
Oh.
Not as much as Korea. Though I'm not sure because
Yeah, let us
I
know.
don't know the reality. So please let us know. I'll be really interested to hear that. Still, for a lot of countries, especially the Western ones, them loving K-pop, it's a very minor thing to do. It's a very subculture thing to do. Very niche. So when you have these small number of people that are having the same hobby as you start to get this inner circle. They kind of like just live in their own bubble.
Oh,
Yeah.
create their own culture.
Yeah, they're just their own thing. It's not like in Korea where K-pop is literally everywhere. It's just their own subculture.
Community.
Yeah, it's their own community. And for them, having some older people, it's still good because like, oh, we share the same taste. It's very difficult to find people who have the same taste in K-pop.
That's good. I personally think no one should really care about what
Yeah.
we like as long as
Yeah.
they make me happy. Then it's nobody's business really.
Yeah.
Because I like K-pop. I like K-pop. And I envy international fans for that matter because there's no judgment. So you guys have something good going. Okay guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you Danny for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video as well, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, love you, and goodbye.